AI.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it feels like every day there's a new headline about how AI is going to like change the world.
It really does.
But what happens when like countries start thinking about AI as like a national strategy, like as part of their plan for the future? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where things get really interesting.
Absolutely.
So today we're diving deep into this concept of sovereign AI, particularly how India is approaching it.
Sounds fascinating.
Yes, it is. So first of all, like, what is sovereign AI? What does that even mean?
Okay, so in the simplest terms, sovereign AI is about a nation wanting to control its own destiny when it comes to AI. Like, think about it. It's about being independent in how they develop AI, how they use it, and maybe even more importantly, the data that feeds all these AI systems.
Okay, so like instead of like relying on big tech companies from other countries.
Exactly. It's about a country saying, we're going to build our own AI capabilities, but like tailored to our specific needs, our priorities.
Right. So it's about independence. It's about control.
Yeah.
But like, why is India making this such a big deal? You know, what's driving this push for sovereign AI in India specifically?
Well, one thing that makes India really interesting here is that they've already built this incredibly strong, what they call digital public infrastructure, or DPI.
PPI.
Yeah, so think of things like Aadhaar, which is like their national biometric ID system.
Oh, right.
Or UPI, their digital payments platform, which is used by like, I don't know, hundreds of millions of people every single day.
I've definitely heard about those, yeah. I mean, they're kind of famous for those systems, right?
Exactly. And this is where it ties into sovereign AI, because this DPI, it generates a ton of data. And that data can be used to train some super powerful AI models.
So they already have the data.
Yeah, and specifically for like public services.
Okay.
So you can start to imagine like AI-powered healthcare systems or like education platforms that are really designed for the Indian context.
Okay, so that's the GovAI part, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But I know there's this whole concept of like GovAI plus private AI equals sovereign AI, right?
That's exactly right. So it's not just about the government doing things. It's also about, creating an environment where private companies, startups, they can also thrive and develop AI solutions.
Right, so you have both sides of the coin contributing.
Exactly. And in India, there's a lot of innovation happening in the private sector too, like in agriculture, in finance, in all sorts of fields.
So it's kind of like this really ambitious vision, right? Like they're trying to build this whole AI ecosystem.
Yeah.
But can they actually pull it off? Like, can India really become, a major player in AI globally by going down this sovereign AI route?
It is an incredibly ambitious plan, but they're definitely not just talking about it. They're taking concrete steps. Like one of the major things they're doing is the India AI mission.
Oh, right, the India AI mission.
It's a national program, right? And it's totally focused on fostering AI research development, getting people to use it, that kind of thing. And then they're also like putting a lot of resources into the infrastructure. So, for example, they're building this massive AI supercomputer.
Right, in partnership with Tata and NVIDIA, I read about.
Exactly. And that partnership is particularly interesting to me because it kind of shows that India is serious about like not just using AI, but also building the hardware behind it.
Yeah, like they want to be self-sufficient,
Yeah.
especially now with, like everyone talk about chip shortages and all that. That's a pretty big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Having your own capabilities there is key.
There was another thing I was reading about, this partnership that Reliance has with NVIDIA
Right.
to build, what was it, a large language model?
Yes, a large language model, or LLM for short.
Yeah, an LLM for Indian languages.
Yes.
What makes that a potential game changer, though?
Okay, so think about this. India has 22 official languages,
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
plus hundreds of dialects.
It's incredible.
Imagine if you had an AI that could bridge all those communication gaps.
Right.
So you could have like millions of people who suddenly have access to information and services in their own language. And on top of that, this LLM could be trained on like this massive data set of Indian text.
Wow.
And that could lead to like all sorts of unique AI applications in healthcare, education, even things like entertainment. I mean, you could think about personalized learning platforms, AI-powered medical diagnosis tools. Who knows, maybe even AI writing Bollywood scripts.
Whoa, okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to think about.
It really feels like sovereign AI for India isn't just about like catching up to the rest of the world. It's like they're trying to use their own unique strengths, to forge their own paths.
Exactly. It's about creating an AI ecosystem that really reflects India's culture, their languages, their own priorities.
I mean, it sounds great, but I'm sure there are challenges.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, some of the big ones are, how do you ensure data privacy? How do you prevent bias in algorithms? And then, how do you navigate the whole, global politics of AI? It's a complicated landscape out there.
Yeah, lots to consider there. So zooming out a little bit, why should the average person listening to this care about what's happening with AI in India?
I think India's journey with sovereign AI is kind of like a window into the future for all of us.
Okay, I like that.
It really shows how AI is becoming like a major factor in national strategy and global power dynamics. And it raises some really important questions that we all have to think about, like technological independence, data sovereignty, and then the whole ethical implications of AI.
Yeah, the ethics part is a big one, isn't
What a
it?
huge. And these are things that are going to affect everyone, no matter where you live.
That's a great point.
Yep.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive. Sovereign AI in India. It feels like we've just scratched the surface, but hopefully this gives everyone listening a better understanding of what's going on and why they should care.
Absolutely.
And for anyone who's interested in exploring this topic further, we'll be sure to put some links in the show notes.
Great idea.
So before we wrap up, though, any final thoughts for our listeners? Anything they should be thinking about as they go out and explore this more on their own?
Here's a question to ponder. What role do you think sovereign AI is going to play in shaping the future? Will it lead to a world where technology is more fragmented? Or could it actually maybe create new opportunities for countries to work together?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't think there are any easy answers, but the implications are going to be huge for all of us.
For sure. All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening, everyone.